I actually did an experiment with doing a month where I was like part-time on support. And that was very eye-opening because it's easy like to discuss with the support manager and have a meeting and so on and look at some trends. But when you're down in the trenches, which I recommend everyone to do, um, different things like pop up that you ignored or that you didn't know were such, were causing such friction.
From launching a user registration plugin to creating one of the fastest growing WordPress translation tools, today's guest has built impactful products with clarity, speed, and scale. Welcome to WP Legends. I'm Gautam, co founder of Seahawk Media. Today, I'm joined by Adrian Speark, co founder of Translate Press and Cosmos Labs, known for delivering intuitive performance first plugins like Profile Builder, paid member subscriptions, and a translation tool that now supports over 400,000 active installs on the WordPress.org repository. Adrian and his team began with user-focused tool in Cosmos Labs, then saw a major gap in the translation space. So in 2018, they launched Translate Press with a visual front-end interface that lets anyone translate a WordPress page in context, even WooCommerce product pages without code. Translate Press stands out for its performance. It adds minimal load overhead and is compatible with all caching plugins. It supports extensive translation flexibility, manual or AI powered, SEO friendly, WooCommerce ready, and works with any theme or page builder. Today, we'll explore Adrian's product led journey, his approach to solving real world WordPress pain points, and how Translate Press is evolving in the AI and multilingual web space. Adrian, welcome to WP Legends. Let's go back to the beginning.
Thank you, Gautam. Thank you for such an immense and comprehensive introduction. I appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Great to be here. I've seen some previous really, really cool guests, so it's an honor to be invited and have a chance to chat with you.
It's an honor to have you here also. And I just saw the news because, I do all the research, before I obviously know about Translate Press, but I didn't know you. Now I know you. It's sad I missed you at WordCamp Basel. But one thing I want to talk about in the very beginning is that you just crossed 400,000 installs. How does it feel?
Yes, we crossed 400,000 active installs with Translate Press. That was a huge
Mhm.
milestone. It just goes to show that there is a need in the market for high quality, easy to use translation tools. And these types of milestones, even though there's a lot of work behind them, are really cool because they act like an encouragement and validation that we're doing the right thing and we're going in the right direction.
That is very true. I totally agree with you because when that happens, it actually boosts, it gives you more motivation. It makes you want to work even harder. Do you agree?
Exactly.
At least you and I, as entrepreneurs, totally understand that. And anybody who's starting out in the freelancer agency web space, the moment they get their first few orders, and then they get the next orders, they all get motivated. Anyways, let's go back to the beginning from right before Translate Press. Tell me about Cosmos and what led to the movement of creating Translate Press.
So our story is quite funny. It started like 16 years ago. We started working with WordPress, me and my co-founder. At first, we were an agency, so we did a lot of consulting. We built websites. We worked with several types of clients and customers, and slowly, like gradually, we discovered like a gap in the WordPress registration functionality, more or less. So everything was backend, everything was out of the context, and so on. So we developed a first solution initially for one of our projects, which is called Profile Builder. So Profile Builder as a plugin was launched in 2011. That was our first plugin.
Mhm.
It was, I still remember, it was priced $39 for that period. Like it was just like one pricing point, $39. And the cool part is that we released the free version, and then the day we released the paid version, we had sales from like day one.
Okay.
And it was so cool to get those like payment notifications. I remember we sold via PayPal, and like getting those payment
Of
notification
course.
was eye-opening for us. It's
Yes,
like
of course.
services, and that this was like our first small steps into products.
Mhm.
And from that point, we decided at some point our revenue was split before between services and product. It was like 50-50. And we had to make a decision either because the type of work that you do as a product owner versus like a service business is completely different.
Mm.
So we either had to split the team and organize ourselves differently, or what we decided and ended up doing in the end, we went like all into products.
Of course.
Um, and it was probably the best decision we did at that point, apart from one more, which I'm going to tell you
Hmm.
soon. And then from that, like the customers from Profile Builder asked for certain features, which led us to build a membership plugin because they wanted payments, they wanted paid user profiles, they
And a lot of
wanted
add-ons.
things like that.
And I see a lot of
Yes.
add-ons also.
Yes, and add-ons and so on. So these two plugins grew, and yes, in the end, the latest one and the most successful one by the number of active installs is TranslatePress,
Hmm.
launched in 2018 in
Hmm.
a very crowded and mature like WordPress translation space. So we had to come with something different, with something easier to use, with something that would appeal to beginners, not developers, someone who just wants to translate their website
True.
fast, easy, without a lot of friction. So that was the niche we tried to address and target there.
I see. I see. That's pretty cool. So Translate Press's front-end visual editor is very intuitive. I know that for a fact because at Seahawk Media, we have supported a lot of customers who come to us, and they're Translate Presses paying customers, etc. So what I understand is that you figured out the gap. You try to make things super duper easy, and you have a very powerful SEO first approach from day one. Is that correct? Because I believe I saw somewhere on your
Yes.
feature page that you're compatible with Yoast, all-in-one SEO, etc.
Yes, we are like multilingual SEO, and the main value proposition when like building a multilingual website is you want to attract that multilingual traffic. You want to, besides increasing conversions, because there are several studies that show that once you translate your website or e-commerce store, the conversion and you address like a global market in certain areas, the conversion rate goes
Yes.
up because of the translation and more appeal to certain customers that only speak one language or their native language.
Hmm.
And this is like one of the main benefits. The second one is that you get to attract and rank in different languages for different keywords. So
True.
these two combined, that's why SEO is very important, and we try to be 100% compatible with all the SEO, major SEO tools, and put a lot of attention into it.
Yeah, that's very, very important. I totally agree with you. And it really helps businesses at the end of the day, the end users who are using Translate Press, if they are getting an extra lead from, let's say they're in the UK and they get one extra lead a month from, let's say, by translating in French from Montreal or France or
Yes,
other French speaking countries, like, wow, that's more than sufficient sometimes. It pays off the cost of the
exactly.
plugin for the next few years, if not 1 year, basically.
Exactly. And you have many countries where like which speak several languages,
True.
and it's given somehow there and a must that their websites, all the websites that they create needs to be multilingual, that they need to at least have the main spoken languages.
Absolutely, 100%. I also noticed that, you have always emphasized speed and performance, and so even compared to other translation plugins, you have always said that, with respect to speed. So how did you achieve the right speed? Because as you know, that's also very crucial for SEO.
Yeah, so I think it all comes down to our translation approach and a
Okay.
lot of like back and forth testing and optimizing and polishing. The
Mhm.
speed is always important. Like it doesn't matter if you rank, you won't rank well if the page doesn't load fast enough. So we always keep an in the back of our minds that it needs to be very fast and very like the speed load. We pay a lot of attention to these details.
Got it.
Our approach with the front end visual translation is it has a lot of advantages. One of them is it doesn't have only advantages, but it has a lot of advantages. I don't want to sound like a sales pitch.
No, no, no.
Uh,
Of course not.
so the main advantage is that it does, we don't care what type of tool you use to create the content. So we don't need to add compatibility, for example, with big like Elementor or WooCommerce
Any
or
page builder.
out
Any
of the
page builder.
box, any
Okay.
page builder, any type of plugin or theme that adds text or things in the front end. We see it. It works out of the box with Translate Press. We don't need to add any extra compatibility or things like that. So that has been crucial because, as you know, in the and working as an like with a lot of clients, you know how many things can go wrong
True.
in a complex setup as a WordPress website is, because you have hosting, you have plugins, you have themes, all of these interact. Sometimes you have too many plugins,
Very
all
true.
of these interacting and doing many things. Some of them sometimes not following the WordPress standards and guidelines.
True.
And it could be, that your solution doesn't work. It's not because you did something wrong. It's because of, it conflicts with a different solution and so on. So this peace of mind that it works out of the box 99.9% of the times. We still have like situations as I described where some plugins or themes don't follow standards, and we need to like figure out what's going wrong.
Mm-hmm.
um, it gives you like a peace of mind that whatever tool you use, a theme, page builder, so on, it works out of the box. So this is the main advantage. The other one is speed because of how you load things and how you optimize things. Because we can do it like on first page load or second page load. I don't want to get into too many details, but the thing is that we want translations to be instant, even when you have like automatic translation or AI translations that are now available in Translate Press. It needs to be like the wow effect. You set it up, like you enter your license key, for example, then you go to the front end visual translation editor and bam, you switch the language, everything is translated.
That's
So
true. And making and also most importantly, that human refinement also should be very easy and painless.
yes,
And I think a lot of companies are ignoring that now. Sad to say, even we are at Seahawk because it's difficult to find native translator. Even though if you go to Fiverr, etc., and find native people, still you have to give them the work, assign them, explain to them. They need to understand. So human refinement.
yes.
So which I didn't have. I'm curious actually. It's a very interesting thought. Where do you see the AI translations going actually in the next couple of years, and the human define? And do you think human refinements will be even needed, considering the way AI is improving in the next every day?
Yes, this is a very good question.
Hmm.
Where I see AI translations going, they are definitely improving a
Hmm.
lot, and
Yeah.
they are sounding more and more like
Us guys.
natural, like exactly
Yeah.
like humans, and I think this is a good thing because we want to translate or like to give this advantage to our users. For example, what this means or this translates to low cost. You wouldn't have to pay a translator like a huge amount of money because he needs to spend like all his time to
True.
translate all the content. We can do it via AI, and then he comes and just, reads everything and
True.
polishes certain sentence. So the time that's actually spent optimizing a website is much, much lower. You will still have that quality in the end, but you end up paying much less for the professional translator and much less for AI translations, which, as you've seen, like with all the models, the cost keeps going down, keeps going down.
True,
And
that's true. I think what I'm understanding is you will still need somebody like a commander of a ship, basically to manage and just make sure everything is aligned. But you don't need like an army of people if you have 10,000 or 20,000 pages on your site. That's what it is sorting
I
out,
agree.
right?
Yes, you can like scale much
Hmm.
faster with fewer resources.
I see.
That's one of the big advantages.
What would you say at Translate Press has like been one of the biggest reasons for your growth over the past couple of years, especially explosive growth? Like, is it SEO? Is it because people's need AI translation? Yeah. What is the at your what do you think?
There's definitely a need for like multilingual and
What?
translations and
Mm-hmm.
multilingual websites. But I think the key is coming up with a tool that's different from what already exists.
Mm-hmm.
That's either like easier to use, which I think is the case for our tool. And
Very fair pricing
yeah,
also. I must say that your pricing is very fair as compared to a
and
lot
with
of.
like competitive prices. So if you put it all together, it needs to be like a very good
True.
value proposition.
Mm.
So if I'm a potential customer and I'm looking for a translation solution, I will look at different options and I will see like the uh, pluses and minuses for all of them. What are the advantages? And with our, I think our approach as if we just show a screenshot or a couple of screenshots, they instantly get it. We don't have to explain the tool, how it works, that you
Mm.
need to go in that menu in the back end and then search for that. And then you will realize that you find these strings which appear here on the website on the front end. So you need to go to the front end to see. The thing with the visual translation editor is the context. You always have the context. You select the text, you know exactly where it appears in the
True.
front end. So when you translate it, you have the context, which in my mind is one of the main advantages of like context is super important in translations.
I
If you
know.
lose that, you sort of like lose the vibe of that page of those
100%.
translations.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So this is like an in-context translation if I were to summarize it.
That's pretty cool. I think I totally understand that. And you also pay a lot of. I also mentioned in your intro, and I saw in your features list also this morning. You pay a lot of emphasis on the WooCommerce part. So I'm curious, like, is what are the unique websites or use cases which comes to your mind, like very challenging use case which has ever come to your mind with respect to Translate Press, where you had to support a developer, some enterprise maybe you have seen. I wonder.
Yeah, so websites with lots and lots of products,
Hmm.
with lots of product where you have a combination of like static pages and a blog and a product page, and then you have products which are, for example, some products are available to members only.
Yes.
The other products are available to the public. So you have all these types of like moving pieces and combination, which
True.
is normal in a complex website. I think these types of projects, and then with WooCommerce, you have variations and product lists and so on that could get complicated. It's not
I,
just small shops.
I'm curious as to like what kind of support tickets do you and your team receive? Like because it's pretty straightforward, you install and stuff like that, but people face troubles, anything to do with hosting or something like that?
Not really. Sometimes, yeah, we get some sort of hosting. So I like to keep an eye on like the kind
Mm.
of support tickets we receive because that's the first and the most valuable customer feedback that you get. You see the type of question that people
Yes.
ask, what are their problems, what are the websites that they're trying to build. So you learn a lot. I actually did an experiment with doing a month where I was like part-time on support. And that was very eye-opening because it's easy like to discuss with the support manager and have a meeting and so on and look at some trends. But when you're down in the trenches, which I recommend everyone to do, um, different things like pop up that you ignored or that you didn't know were such, were causing such friction.
Oh, I'm with
So
you. I'm with you on that.
yes, I realized, I saw the pre-sales questions. What were people asking? Like what was unclear? And then we organized better, like the documentation, the website, how we structure, how we explain things, the videos that we feature with the products. There was a lot of right now with AI translations, questions around AI words. How are they counted? How is consumption count? Can I like migrate translation from like staging to the production website and so on? All these questions were amazing feedback for us to improve our documentation, for us to improve our value proposition, our pricing page, which did changes like to the pricing tables, explaining these things, added some FAQs and so on. So there are this type of questions. Then you have things that are not working, or they try to not make it work. Things that, for example, they haven't configured something correctly. We don't have a lot of things to configure. Uh, but still, if something doesn't work, then the first question we should ask ourselves, and not it doesn't work. It doesn't work because of a misconfiguration of because something was misunderstood. So the first question is, okay, what can we do to improve this in the plugin? How can we make this clear? How can we so it's small polishes like that. Then we have like the conflicts, which I mentioned before. Uh, Not many of those, but those tickets normally take longer to um, address. And I wanted like to, our goal is to offer the support so that we investigate, even if it's like not our plugin's fault, we want to give our customers at least an answer. Look, this is causing a conflict because of the way they add this. You should, I mean, you could remove this with that, or ask them to maybe include, because this is like a major plugin. Right now, I believe after you go over like 100,000 active installs, it's pretty big, and they should maybe keep in mind that there are other users, and we also contact like other plugin companies directly saying, look, we had these 3 users having this problem. This is the fix. We can like commit it and you include it in the plugin, or you can do it and so on. So it's an ongoing dance
Of
in the
course,
WordPress
I totally
space.
agree with you. You need to get into the weeds and trenches, like you mentioned, because I'm part of all of my clients. We have a lot of agencies users, okay, on a white label basis, and I always monitor what's going on, and I even jump in if need,
Yes.
because you learn a lot. You learn so much then, and you improve then and there.
I think that's very smart, and that's very smart, and that's something that I think every founder should do. Support is super revealing. You can
Got it.
easily like ignore it, but it shows exactly what people are struggling with, what they want, and so on.
I also want to discuss something which, is very hard. I know the answer to this, but I know my end users, our end customers, they always have a misconception. Okay. So whenever we are implementing a translation plugin like Translate Plus on any customer, be it 50 pages or 500 or 50,000, it doesn't matter. The common misconception is like Google Translate is for free. Why do I need AI words, etc.? I know the answer, but maybe you can explain that. Why do people need to pay, and they should pay for AI translated words versus just the free Google Translator switcher?
Yes. So there are many, many reasons. The
Mhm.
first is that if you translate your website and then the pages, the translations are served from your website, Google will crawl and index them. So you will rank in multiple languages. Otherwise, you won't. Like you can, yes, use the toolbar like translation and see more or less what the text is about. But as a website owner, if your purpose is to increase multilingual traffic and conversions, like translating your website is the only way for the SEO reasons we discussed previously. Then the quality of translations,
As well.
that's
And
that
let's not
that's
forget,
signals.
let's not forget that whenever you use the AI translation power, they also become another page. So Google is actually indexing a page in French, in German, in Italian.
Exactly,
And then there's
exactly.
another, and then there's another piece of content for Google, another piece of meta tag title, meta tag descriptions, image, alt tags, etc., whatever, everything for Google to crawl. So there's completely new page.
Exactly. So a simple example, you might want to sell, I don't know, dog leashes,
Mhm.
and you want to sell them in UK, but you don't rank. You rank like in the second page of Google. But maybe if you translate it in French, for example, and polish that page in French, you might end up, for people like searching in French, you might end up in the top three positions.
Yeah,
So that's a traffic source you never had before that was created because of the multilingual capability.
got it, got it. And now, now I understand about you and your company. So you have Translate Press, you have the profile builder, the paid subscriptions. Anything else? Am I missing something?
Yes, we also have WP Webhooks, which is an
Okay.
automation plugin. This was
I
actually
didn't see
our
this.
first
Okay.
acquisition.
Okay.
Yeah, our first acquisition. We bought it like 2 years ago or 2.5 years ago
Okay.
as an experiment to see all our plugins, everything, all our products we developed from scratch.
Hmm.
And this one was an experiment to see, because I see a lot of potential also in automation because of the saving time and also integrating different services, providers, plugins
Oh, is it like
with
Zapier for
WordPress in.
WordPress? Is it like Zapier?
Exactly. It's
Ah,
in a word, it's like Zapier for WordPress. You can add flows and automation. If this user registers, then you can like send it that email and add him as a member here and list him there, and I don't know, all sorts of stuff, things, and allow him access to this free WooCommerce product or things like that. You can create automations on your website. That's the short version of it, and it's been growing steadily. We want to put like more resources and more focus on it. It's there's always a challenge when you have a suite of products. There's
of
always,
course.
we have several teams, we have like separate development support teams and so on. Some of the marketing resources are shared, but there's always a challenge in terms of like focus and what do you focus on and
Oh, I'm
what's
with you.
the
And I think the biggest one is motivation. Wherever you're making more money, you tend to focus there more, and you somehow, for a temporary phase, become demotivated if the other suite is other plugin is not doing well.
yeah.
So you need to rewire your brain accordingly. Switch on,
Yes,
switch off.
yes.
I
That's
totally,
true. That's true.
I totally understand, totally hear you. And so, how big is your team right now? And are they all remote, or do
We're
you have?
20 people or 19 people, I believe, 19 people. We
Mhm.
also have a couple of like freelancers that work with us, help us with marketing, with content, with
Hmm. Got it, got it. So, SC, I've noticed your blog posts, etc. You're doing a fabulous job. Your marketing team is doing a great job and very clean designs, very clean branding. But you personally, what do you like more, translation or SEO?
so I don't have like a simple answer for you. I like building stuff. I
Okay.
like
Oh, you're an engineer.
building
My
stuff
bad.
that,
You're an engineer
yeah,
also.
I like seeing stuff, that are that gets used and improving things. I like
Got
to
it.
see some end result to my work. So, uh, whatever type of like product or I would go with the same enthusiasm. If it's like brings me joy just to like tinker with it and build it and figure things out. And I
Got it.
also like the strategizing part, the pricing part, the value proposition part, where you think, okay, what's valuable, what's not, how you should like include things. So yeah,
That's
I
cool.
think I like the whole like entrepreneurial game more or less.
I hear you. I hear you. I have this question which I ask everybody, every guest I have on WP Legends. I'm going to ask you as well. I'm going to remove my hat so that we can match our haircuts. Okay, for this,
Yeah, yeah.
although I need to go to my barber and just match. Mine is exactly clean like yours. It's just that I've not been to a groomer because I have a baby dog. Lots happening in my life right now. Anyways, but this question is.
Those are cool things to happen.
Yes, yes. So I see your entire business is around the WordPress game. Okay. Now WordPress, where do you think is going in the next 5 years? Not 10. In your personal perspective, considering Framer, Wix, Dora, Lovable now, you can build apps. Use vibe coders are popping up every day. I heard yesterday or day before yesterday, somewhere on TikTok or Instagram, there are more than 1,000 people creating a CRM on Lovable every day. Maybe it's right or wrong, but yeah, it's easy.
Hmm.
Now,
Hmm.
HubSpot company
Yes,
every day, thousands.
yes, yes,
So where do you think
yes,
WordPress is going
yes.
in 5 years? And where future, your words.
So I'm optimistic. I know there because it's first of all, this is like impossible to predict. However,
Yes.
because it would have been impossible to predict what happened like in the
Mm.
WordPress space in the past 2 years. That would have been a huge that's the definition of a black swan event, that happened.
True.
So um, to answer your question, I believe like 5 years, it's a long time, but it's not that long so that things could change dramatically. I love what WordPress is doing now with AI and with their like focus on integrating more of AI into WordPress and transitioning
And the core
towards
becoming
that.
stronger, and the core is becoming so strong.
Exactly. And their new focus on shipping things and improving things. I love for example, the new redesign that they want to make on the WP admin, which was long, long, long overdue. So this gives me hope that things are moving in the right direction. I don't see WordPress disappearing in the next 5 years. I think it's like highly, highly, highly
Oh, I doubt that
unlikely.
too. That's not going to happen. Yeah, 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 for sure. It's not going to disappear. Drupal and
100%.
Joomla has not disappeared. Magento is still there. So it's not going to
Yes.
disappear. That's for sure.
Will it like continue to grow
Hmm.
or like plateau at a certain point? Even that, I don't, even if it plateaus, I don't see that as a huge threat. I know people are going bananas that we haven't grown, but it's fine. Just think about the number of websites that still use WordPress. Why do you need to like keep growing? You could still innovate. At the same level, probably of adoption and so on. So I don't see a huge threat for WordPress in the next 5 years. I'm actually, as I told you, enthusiastic about the new things that are added, and I think if WordPress AI adoption is key to its growth in the future. So if we focus on the right things and the community like starts focusing on the right thing, and even with plugins and products and other solutions, the more we integrate the new technologies, the more we integrate AI, the more we translate all this value to our users. I don't see like huge disruption or changes in the
I think
space.
I think I'm on the same boat as you. I think WordPress is not going anywhere for 10, 20, 30 years. There's only one if and but which comes to my personal mind. Okay, call me crazy. It's only when this new internet which is popping up. We don't know what the new internet is. Consider what ChatGPT has done. Like everybody uses ChatGPT. The agent mode in ChatGPT is like activating 10,000 assistants for no extra money. Would you agree? So this new
Yes.
internet is the only thing which can kind of disrupt it. And we don't know what's going to happen. Maybe this there's something which is born which does not you don't need www for. You just open your hands like this and it's in front of your eyes, So that's the only thing which comes to my mind, that a new internet could be born.
I
Or it's
agree.
already born and under toddler phase right now, and that's the only thing I fear. Otherwise, I don't think WordPress is going anywhere. Also,
Yeah, I'm just thinking, what would adoption or what does adoption look like? Because you need to look at the broad spectrum of users. Like there are these like a small percentage that try all the futuristic stuff and play with the latest of the latest. But then you have like the small business owners or, that just, I don't know, they have a pizza place in Bari in Italy and they want like, they need a website. And maybe they're gonna do it or not with AI. Maybe I don't know. It depends on how easy WordPress makes it for them.
I think so. Also,
What's the alternative and so on.
I think it's just for the end users, those who don't know any code, etc. It just needs to become super easy for them. That's like super duper easy.
Yes,
Just like Shopify. Like click few buttons.
I agree.
I think that's the only thing. And we are not too far from there. I can see WordPress AI. Elementor AI is trying to sort that out. Elementor
Exactly,
is
exactly.
offering
Where
everything.
you just speak and they like we already have exactly as you mentioned page builders that I saw the announcement as well that already like you can tell them what to build
Hmm.
and that will still be based on WordPress.
True.
So
True. So we're coming up on time. So quick rapid fire questions for you. So are you a coffee or a tea drinker, by the way?
definitely tea.
Really? Wow. And you're in Romania,
Yes,
yes? You're in Romania. Which part of Romania?
yes. In Timișoara, that's in the west of Romania. We're actually very close to the Hungarian border.
Oh, okay, cool. So I have to look at the map again. But how far is it from Bucharest?
It's quite far,
Okay.
like 8 hours of driving, more or
Oh,
less.
okay, cool. But so if there's a WordCamp Europe, you definitely try to make your place. I missed you in WordCamp Basel. I know I saw some post on LinkedIn, but are you going to any other WordCamps in the next or are you going to the US by any chance? Portland.
Not this year. It's something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I might just, do it in 1 year without planning. Um, we go religiously to all WordCamp Europe, so that's the main event where most of the team goes. Sometimes the entire team goes,
And it's
and
free
we also have
branding.
some.
And it's free branding if you wear
Yeah,
t-shirts.
yes, it's free banding. It's just it's a I don't know, it's just a tradition now. We
Okay.
don't look so much at like ROIs, but just developing these
Yeah, yeah, I'm kidding.
connections like me, it's
Yeah.
it, it's it's amazing. So I highly encourage everyone to go to work camps to as many as they can. Even like local work camps are really cool. Right now
Yeah, yeah.
there's one
Nobody is
in
trying to
Poland.
sell you anything. People are just super friendly.
Yes,
They want to
yes,
just
the
they just
vibe
want to
is
get to know you.
amazing.
Yeah, they just want to get to know you, right?
Yes, yes. I still remember my first one. It was in Bulgaria, in Sofia,
Okay.
and it was so eye-opening, like seeing how big this community is and how many people are involved and do stuff with WordPress. It was very encouraging, and I came like super excited about what
I
we're
think
doing and the space and how it's evolving.
I go to the big ones for sure, the US, Europe, and the Asia one, but I need to start going to some more smaller ones. In London though, there's WordPress London. It's not a WordCamp, but it's like a community organized by somebody, and it's pretty good. 50 to 60 people are always there, so I always try to go there. The smaller WordCamps I've not been to in a very long time. Last one was Boston. I can't even remember now. My team definitely goes to WordCamps in India, in Pune, Mumbai. Mumbai
Hmm, hmm.
is the big one next year. Mumbai, the Asia one next year. So you should try
Okay.
to go to India if not been there. You will really love it, you know.
Yes.
And I'm curious for WordCamp Europe, the smaller ones, because there are so many languages. So I believe the talks and everything are in the local language or in English. I'm curious.
Most of them, I think, in English.
Hmm. Some of them could be local
You
language.
you mean the ones in Europe,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
not
yeah.
the WordCamp Europe? Yeah, for example, TranslatePress was like we launched it at WordCamp Bucharest in
Okay.
2018. We were like sponsors, so there most of the talks were in Romanian. So um, or the chats. I don't the presentations. I think were still in English. I don't really remember, but the majority of people were speaking Romanian. So I think it's similar. But as a foreigner, I think you can easily understand and speak
Oh yeah,
English
yeah, yeah,
with
yeah, yeah,
everyone. So
100%, hundred
I don't
percent.
see that as a
I have
barrier.
never had any problems navigating Europe ever. There's never any issues. But I'm just realizing that I need to personally now start going to smaller WordCamps, smaller format WordCamps because I really love them, and you get to spend more time in a more focused approach. But anyways, and what are your favorite plugins besides Translate Press? Besides your own plugins, I mean, whatever comes to your mind.
So I really like what Elementary is doing. I
Okay.
think it's they're innovating, they're doing really, really cool things. Um, then I don't know, there are many plugins that we use and I like.
Form, contact
Um,
form, speed, SEO.
yes, yes. A different one, like a plugin that's small, not really known, but was developed by one of our like colleagues,
Hmm.
is Slice WP. It's an affiliate plugin that's like 4.9 ranked on WordPress.org. So
Oh, okay.
you should check it out as an affiliate. If you like have an affiliate, I recommend that. I think he's doing a really cool job with that plugin. And I personally like this like small plugins that have one, two, three developers behind them that really care about the users, and you see the quality, you see the
Updates
support
frequently.
responsiveness,
Hmm.
updates, and so on. So
Awesome.
there are many cool tools that you can like rely on nowadays.
Awesome. And the final one, it's what's the best and or the worst habit you developed as an engineer making this business?
The best and the worst habit. Um,
Whatever comes to your mind, it's okay.
so the best habit is as you know, I transitioned like from building stuff to more like management, and as a CEO, I need to handle both things.
True.
One of the most like helpful habits is to schedule sessions of deep work, deep focused work,
Hmm.
where I don't have any interruptions, and I the purpose is to work on stuff that gets shipped, and I see something concrete at the end of these sessions, which make me say, I did this today. This is great. Whatever comes next is just a bonus. So having these in your calendar and preparing for them and knowing exactly, okay, I don't know,
I need to
right
do
now,
that.
for example,
Adi, I need to do
yeah,
that. Honestly speaking, I swear to God, I'm gonna do it from today. Today. I've been dying to just block 2 hours, put my phone on silent, no Slack notifications, nothing. Like, do not
yes,
disturb me.
it's
2 hours.
exactly. I recommend at least 90 minutes. It's great, like when you're really captivated by what you're doing, to always have an option to extend it by another 90 minutes. So you don't end up like doing something super creative and then you have to stop because you have a meeting or something like that.
I am with
So
you. It's so important. I'm with you.
that for me gives me such a peace of mind and lowers, all the anxiety and everything, because I don't know, and I enjoy doing it. For example, we worked on some initiatives to like reduce churn. That was super cool, like asking for feedback and all those things. Implementing like feedback forms, adding some notifications in the plugin, like working with the designer. I love doing that part as well and getting, my hands dirty doing those things. And then you have normally like the management meetings, you have the, even strategy, like doing like strategizing when you're uninterrupted. and just thinking about something and then deep diving into, questions like, okay, what's the future? How is this going to evolve? Where should we position this product? This is really cool, and it won't happen if it's not scheduled. That was the case for me. If it's not in the calendar and clear, I'm going to work on this. You don't have to know everything, but you have to know like the thing that you're going to work on so that you get started. Once you get started, everything flows from there. So this is like the good thing. The other, as an engineer, I always see or can estimate or can figure out what won't work, And I'm obsessed with sometimes all the details which are unimportant that could be optimized. So I always see the problems. Maybe engineer, maybe entrepreneur, maybe you always see the problems, the risk, what doesn't work, and you stop focusing on all the cool things that do work, which put you in a different mindset. If you're always focused, because this is also our job, like to spot problems in our plugins, in the business, to spot these things. If you focus too much on this and forget to be thankful and focus for everything that is working, which most of the times is the majority, the high majority, then that's the recipe for disaster.
I hear you. I hear you. That's good one. Thank you. Anyways, thank you so much for being on my show. It was great chatting with you.
Thank you
And
very
I
much.
and I hope to see you at WordCamp Europe, which is in Poland, the big one, if not sooner.
Yes,
That one I'm definitely
yes.
gonna be there.
We're definitely gonna be there. Probably, I will think also at US and take your example and look at some of the local WordCamps.
Mhm.
Maybe even apply as a speaker. I mean, you should do that as well. You have a lot of
I now
experience.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it now for sure.
Yes, yes. I think that's another great experience as a leader, to go and speak at certain WordCamps, and what better place to speak than
A WordCamp.
on the
Yeah,
stage of a WordCamp. Yes.
I totally agree. And people interested in your Word and WordPress stuff. Anyways,
Yes.
thank you so much. Thank you for being on my show.
Thank you.
Bye for now. Thank
Thank you. I had a great time.
you.